Here we have the mixed review that I recommended that you try before you even look at this video. See if you got the hang of these rules, and just recognizing them is the biggest part. So this first one, 6 to the x plus x squared over ln of x minus 3x. This is a quotient rule. You have x's in the top and the bottom. So we're going to have to use our longer quotient rule on this. So we're going to call the derivative f prime of x. We're going to do minus, because of the quotient rule. Product is plus, quotient is minus, chain is multiplication. So we are going to do the derivative of the top first. Derivative of 6 to the x is going to be ln of 6 times 6 to the x, plus the derivative of x squared is 2x. Derivative of the top gets multiplied by the original bottom, ln of x minus 3x. Derivative of the top, original bottom, minus the derivative of the bottom. Derivative of ln of x is 1 over x. Derivative of negative 3x is negative 3. Derivative of the top, original bottom, minus the derivative of the bottom times the original top. 6 to the x plus x squared. All over our original denominator squared. So we have ln of x minus 3x getting squared. Okay, derivative of the top, original bottom, minus derivative of the bottom, original top, all over the denominator squared. Super long rule. Let's look at the next one. We have y equals 5 ln of x. Kind of looks like a product. Is it a product? Do you have two x terms multiplied together? No, it's a constant multiple. Constant multiple. This is going to differentiate similar to like y equals 5x squared. It's just a 5 and then something that's next term. What's the derivative of 5x squared? Well, you'd keep the 5 and you'd take the derivative of x squared to be 2x, or more likely in your head you're at the point where you're like, hey, that's just 10x. Either way is fine. The point is, for constant multiple, you keep the constant and then take the derivative of the x term as usual. That's what we're going to do here. Our y prime, we're going to keep the 5. What's the derivative of the natural log of x? It's 1 over x. There's our final answer. This is not a product rule. There are not two x terms multiplied. So be super careful, because it looks just like the third one, which is a product rule, because you have x terms that are multiplied. This is different because you have 5x times the natural log of x. When I'm saying it, I hear that I have two x's multiplied, which tells me this is a product. Product is always going to have a plus as part of our answer. Just going for partial credit on these things, you know, I see that plus, I'm going to give you a point. So, derivative of 5x is 5. Derivative of the first, original second, plus derivative of the second. Derivative of the natural log of x is 1 over x times the original first is 5x. And these are fine without parentheses, but you could put them in if you wanted to. Derivative of the first, original second, plus the derivative of the second times the original first. Completely different answers whether you have a constant multiple or you have two x's that are multiplied. Our last kind of bonus example on this mixed review is g of x, which I'm going to first and foremost rewrite because I see I have a root. So it is 7x minus 3 raised to the x, all to the what? Well, it's going to be the first power, because there's not a power written for the whole thing in here, over the 7th root. So it's to the 1/7. This has an x term raised to a power, so I'm going to have to use the chain rule. Call it g prime of x. I'm going to bring down the 1/7, keep my original inside, and raise it to the what? I need to do 1/7 minus 1, which is going to be minus 7 over 7. Keep the 7 in the denominator. 1 minus 7 is going to be negative 6/7 for my new power. Harder because of algebra. Bring down the power, keep the original inside, subtract 1 for the new power. So I have that original inside in here, 7x minus 3 to the x. Last thing, because this is a chain rule, we need to have multiplication. So it's super common to just forget this last part. We need to multiply by the derivative of the inside. Derivative of 7x is 7. Minus the derivative of 3 to the x is going to be ln of 3 times 3 to the x. And because it's more than one term, we need some parentheses, which is good because we needed to show multiplication anyway. So bring down the power, original inside, raised to a new power, multiply by the derivative of the inside.